Welcome and thank you for clicking on my video. It looks like what we were calling out for today's price action ended up taking place where we were able to see the 30-minute curl up and go to that daily expected move where we were able to reject from the big sellers in this area. So we have to get into some more technicals today because we have updated daily expected moves and we are heading into a huge piece of data tomorrow that will tell us, are we going to squeeze to the upside or are we about to fall through the floor? So let's go look at some jobs data to start this thing off. Well, there are a few things that we need to get through before we get into these charts, before we get into that technical analysis. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing today as we get into what's been said out there? A lot of things being said out there about a 50 basis point cut. Oh, get scared, guys. 50 basis point is coming. 50 basis point is coming. 50 basis point is coming. You can see it in multiple of these jumbo rate cut chatter is rising. You guys, the best thing that you can do is go to the Fed Watch and just see what is the most probable. So yes, when we were talking about how September, I don't know if you guys recognize that 2-3 months ago, we were talking about September, we were going to get a rate cut of at least 25 basis points, but everyone is starting to shout out there is a huge percentage chance that we are getting a 50 basis point cut. That is not the truth as of right now. It is looking at an 11.6% chance of that with the data that we do have at this moment. That being said, that all could change tomorrow, so keep your eye on this. If you want to just, pause the video, screenshot it, get this link real quick at the top of the screen. It's just a good little place, and you go over to probabilities, and it'll tell you what is very, very probable to happen as far as rates go. Now, the reason that tomorrow is going to be such a big deal is because you get the non-farm payroll annual revision, and the jobs data last week really shook some people, and this week it might do the same thing. You notice that the previous revision that we did have was minus 818K. That's just impressive. That is impressive. What a terrible, terrible piece of data that you got if you were off by 818K. Anyway, this is what you're looking into for tomorrow. So if you get another big weak reading from the non-farm payrolls annual revision here, you get an extreme revision of weakness, then people will start to you will see these percentages go up as far as the 50 basis points go. And that's the big deal with these cuts, is why are we going to cut and how can that shape up the market over time? You know, once you do start to cut, usually you see an up boom. So you might be hearing people say, hey, the market's going to go up no matter what, even if it goes through a blip. But for now, you would suggest that the rates going down could be in reaction to the labor market weakness. And if that is the overall reaction, investors most likely will see that as recessionary and they will start to price that in. Now, we still see this as a weekly pullback. Go watch our videos over the weekend if you're into that. But I wanted to just give you guys a lowdown on some of the things happening. Something for tomorrow to note is the daily expected moves for the SPY on the 30-minute. Now, we were able to confirm the 30-minute down. This is great, but you notice that we had these little 5-minute double bottoms in here. That means we could end up seeing an upside move early on in the day tomorrow, because if you were paying attention, that data doesn't come out until 9 a.m., which for me, that's 30 minutes after the open. So you will get the data 30 minutes after the open, meaning you do have the opportunity to see like, oh, some kind of upward move that then fades. We could see that squeezing moment if the data is good. The main thing here and the biggest signal here is going to be that 2-hour signal. Does it confirm? That's going to be the big deal here. That right there has not confirmed yet, and we are so very close. I'm getting more emails from you guys saying we're so close. Some people saying, hey, I'm willing to take it on this 30-minute. Hey, that's fine as long as you have your plan for if it goes wrong. So the daily expected move upside tomorrow, 651.99 to the upside. 645.67 to the downside. So we do have the potential to test the 5-day early on. We do have the potential to go up to about 652, which is that high way up here. So we will see if that's going to take place. What do we need in order to raise the floor here? We need a squeeze. Nothing has changed from our weekend analysis. We have just seen it prove itself. We were correct in stating that some kind of move to the upside, going to a daily expected move and resisting off of that was the case here. And now we have to see what happens with this data in the morning, which a lot of people are on their toes for. I really expected more implied volatility, but as of right now, that's what we got for us. So we could be in for a surprise or a dud kind of day like we got today. The Qs much more showing off an actual divergence here for the 30-minute. Pretty dang flat for the MACD, but just down. Very significant there for the RSI. Now, I overall stated I do not want to see a new high for the Qs, or else I think we're raising that floor. And the 2-hour can do that, right? The 2-hour can get going here and still do that. But for the time being, we would look at the 30-minute chart. We would say, okay, this really looks like it may want to continue for that upside unless that data really shakes it up. So you do have 582.67 to the upside. You have 575.07 to the downside. The 2-hour chart doesn't have the best divergences in the world. Weirdly enough, the 2-hour chart had a divergence on the lower end that we talked about not too long ago. You saw that on your MACD. You saw that on your RSI. And it's like, I think that, that's divergence right there. So this could mean that the Qs are actually suggesting that we're about to see a little bit of a pump here and raise that floor into September 30th, which we already discussed over the weekend. This is why it's very important to subscribe. Go look at the videos over the weekend, because we talked about a lot of things. And one of the things we talked about was being able to go slightly up or sideways into September 30th, which is the quarterly OpEx. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. But the Qs for now, they would have to really see some selling come in, because these are some pretty great levels. You've just made a new high. You could come down and make a higher low. That would be fantastic. So we're going to be aware of a lot of things for the Qs, but having the daily expected moves for tomorrow and just being prepared for some kind of volatile move 30 minutes after the open is the way to be as a trader for tomorrow. Now the VIX is interesting to me because the daily scale, we still have these signals. Yes, it can reject. We can always go make another little divergence point for a moment. But I feel like if we're going to squeeze here, we might actually squeeze. So we'll have to see if something like this is going to take place. But for now, the 2-hour is really trying to hold its weight. It's trying to hold its weight on the 30-minute down at these lows. It's really trying to hold itself, but it's not. It's still getting the reaction up to the 5 and failing. So it's not necessarily what you would see for volatility to fully whip up and turn around. This means you might have to be very reactionary 30 minutes into the day as far as what happens for tomorrow. But as far as holding on and building positions for volatility, maybe 2 months out from now, I don't think that that's necessarily like the worst decision in the world, as long as you have a very clear plan for when you have to get out, because it is still very, very likely that we are going to see a weekly curl up for volatility, and then we are going to get a lower high where the SPY ends up getting a weekly pullback where we will get a higher low, and then we'll be off to the races into 2026. And that's overall how the market is shaping up as of right now. I know a lot of people want to talk about GME. The funniest part about GME is if you go to this earnings, and I don't think it's this one, but the last 3 earnings have coincided with like almost exact tops in the market for like, pullbacks, major tops, some major ones, some just pullbacks and things like that. I just think that's ironic. I do see that it's trying to go positive here. So that's a very, very good thing and a good confirmation on the day today. But we'll have to see how this one shapes up. I'm not someone who's going to tell you, yes, this is mooning, or no, this is dropping through the floor. Earnings is there. I think it's a 50-50 flip. If you decide to play earnings, it is overall a gamble in my mind. But if you've really done your research with this and you're like investing in GME at these levels, I think that 23 is just a great level for GME. And really, if you could get anything 23 or below as an investment over time, scaling in and things like that, I really don't think that's a bad price for GME. Maybe you get lucky enough that it even comes down to like 13. I mean, they just have so much cash on hand that it's very hard to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be a company that goes to zero soon. They'd have to mess up for the next 10 years to get rid of the progress that they've done, just to be totally honest with you. They have done really good work, and that's the big thing to say about this company, not some kind of massive squeeze or something like that off earnings, some kind of massive drop off earnings. It's just, this is a good company and they're doing really good things over time. And so they could grow over time. And I think that's the big case for GME at this moment. And so it looks like with the data tomorrow, we may get an answer. We may see, hey, is this 30-minute curling down like we suggested to watch out for? Because that means that there's still weakness here. Is that going to be able to shoot the 2-hour down? Are we going to see that volatility increase? And are we going to see this massive signal right here on the MACD, on the RSI, even going all the way back to potentially July, really, Are we going to see this actually tumble down? Are we going to see all of this be a chain reaction for the daily scale to get going down, for the weekly scale to get its pullback? Is that going to take place tomorrow? Are we going to raise the floor into quarterly OPEX? Well, I think the data at 9 a.m. will give you a good idea on if that is going to happen or not. I am very much so leaning towards the confirmation to the downside. So I am still leaning in the downward direction as of right now. I can change that very, very quickly, but I am very hesitant to play these markets. I've made enough money on the run to the upside multiple times throughout the summer. So I do not need to sit here and try to hold on while it goes to potentially 655 or 650, right? So I think the main thing to pay attention to here is, do we see a 30-minute move up here, and do we roll that, and does the 2-hour confirm? That's going to be the big deal. If you want this to remain bullish, well, then you need to see what? A squeeze to the weekly expected move, get a pullback, and then you can be back on your way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have all the luck in the world trading tomorrow, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.